In this video, I'm going to try to explain why it would be a good idea to use a start kit on your air conditioning system. Most manufacturers, I believe, recommend using a start kit if you have a heat pump that uses a thermostatic expansion valve metering device. But you probably could also benefit no matter if it was a heat pump with a TXV or not. And I'll try to explain why. So in this chart, it shows the amperage that gets drawn when an electric motor starts. So you can see here, let's say a 1/2 horsepower compressor. When it starts, if you see that red circle over in the right, it says locked rotor amps, and it says 64.4. So when the compressor starts, it draws 64.4 amps to get the rotor from a locked position or stopped position to running normally. And if you look over under the maximum load or full load columns, you'll see it runs between 10 and 12 amps when it's just running normally. So that's a huge difference between 64.4 amps to start it and 10 to 12 just to run it. And what does that mean, that 64.4? Why is that an issue? Well, when it draws that 64.4 amps, it's creating heat. And it's creating heat inside the compressor or the motor windings. And this may not be an issue once or twice or 100 times, but over thousands of cycles, that extra heat tends to wear down the windings and will eventually make the windings go to ground, which will be a short, and it will be the end of the compressor at that point. Here we have a cutaway of a hermetically sealed air conditioning compressor, and you can see all the windings in there. There's 2 sets in that bundle. There's start windings and run windings. And each of those wires that you see, those individual wires, they have an insulation coating on them so that none of those wires are actually electrically touching each other. But what happens is when voltage is applied, it induces an electromagnetic field, which then can start the rotor turning from a stop, which is called lock rotor amps. And then once it gets spinning and it gets up to normal speed, then it just goes to normal amps, and that's basically what it uses when it's normally running. So the problem though is that every time the compressor starts from lock rotor amps and uses that 300 to 600% more amperage than it normally does when it's running normal, that creates a tremendous amount of heat, and every time the compressor cycles or turns on, it's going to generate that heat. So what we need to do is try to reduce the amount of heat that gets produced every time it starts. And the only way to do that is to make lock rotor amps less time from lock rotor amps to normal running amps. So we need to reduce that time period. So why do we want to reduce that time period? Well, if we can reduce that time period from lock rotor amps to normal running amps, we're going to reduce a little bit of heat that is generated on those windings. And if we can do that, it may not sound like a big deal, and it's not a big deal for a single cycle or maybe 100 cycles, but What we want to happen is we want to reduce the heat over thousands and tens of thousands of cycles so that the compressor windings stay good. That is, they're not going to ground over a much longer period of time, so that way your compressor can last 5 or 10 more, 5 more years than it normally would, or maybe even more than that. There are some systems out there that are, believe it or not, 30 years old. So heat is the killer of electric motors. So anything you can do to reduce that heat is a good thing. And the reason the manufacturers recommend using a start kit on a heat pump that uses a thermostatic expansion valve as its metering device is because a thermostatic expansion valve, when the system starts up and it's equalized, it's just like a system that doesn't have a TXV valve in it. But after the system cycles on and runs and builds up pressure, and runs its normal cycle, and it brings the building down to whatever the thermostat is set for, and the system shuts off, it takes longer for a thermostatic expansion valve to let the system equalize. So if the system cycles off, when the air conditioner immediately cycles off, the pressures in the system between the high side and the low side are still out of whack. They're not equal. It takes a while for that pressure to equalize, and optimally we want the compressor to start back up when the pressures are equalized, because that's the least amount of load on that rotor, which means the least amount of lock rotor amps it's going to take to start the compressor. So a TXV does not let the system equalize as quickly as other systems that don't use a TXV. So a hard start kit can help it start when the system cycles on again before the system has fully equalized. It gives it a little bit extra boost to get it running. There are instances of heat pumps that are old and do not have a start kit, and sometimes they won't start when it's a hot day, the system's been running a lot, and it's cycling. The cycling duration is a lot smaller. In other words, it's coming on and off a lot more frequently because it's hot. Sometimes the compressor won't even start because the pressure is too much and there's not enough. It just doesn't have the amperage to start it. And you can imagine how much heat is being generated on those windings. So that's why a hard start is probably good in any case, even if it's not a TXV valve, because it's going to make the compressor start quicker, which means less heat on the windings, and over time, we're talking thousands and thousands of cycles, that's going to keep those windings from wearing out and going to ground. So in this diagram, I tried to show visually what I was trying to explain previously. And so the compressor states there's only 3: off, lock rotor amps, and normal running. The graph basically depicts the fact that with a start kit, lock rotor amps will be achieved sooner in the start cycle, and therefore normal running amperage will also be achieved sooner, which will actually reduce the amount of heat generated during that entire transition, state transition. So if you look at the black line, that's without a start kit. You'll see that there's more heat generated because lock rotor amps does not it doesn't get to lock rotor amps as soon as it does with a start kit. And the sooner that it gets to lock rotor amps, the sooner that the amperage can start going down towards the normal run amps, which means also that basically means heat is going to go down as well. So that's our goal, is to get to lock rotor amps quicker. So, and lock rotor amps is the inrush of amperage. You need 300 to 600% more amperage than you do when you normally run to make that rotor, which is at a dead stop, to start turning and start, building up speed, so that once it gets to a certain speed, those start windings will be taking out of the circuit and the run windings will be doing the entire job of running that rotor. And once it gets to that state, it needs far less amperage, and it's going to generate the normal heat, which can then be taken care of by the suction line refrigerant gas that comes in that basically helps cool the compressor down and keeps it at a particular temperature. So if you can use that start kit to reduce the total amount of heat for each cycle over tens of thousands of cycles, the windings will have been saved and the compressor will last longer. That's the point of a start kit. So there's a couple of different types of start kits. One is known as a 2-wire and the other one is a 3-wire. The 2-wire start kits, they both use a relay to put them in the circuit, the start circuit, and take them out of the start circuit within around a second, because they're only needed for about a second while the compressor reaches lock rotor amps. So the 2-wire one is not recommended, and the reason is the relay that's used is a thermistor, which it's not a mechanical type relay, it's based on heat. And so it works when the system first starts up and everything is cold. But once the system's heated up and it starts doing normal cycling, and in the south it's very, very hot and it's going to cycle a lot, that thermistor does not have enough time to cool down enough so that it will put the start capacitor back into the circuit the next time the compressor starts. So they don't do a great job of actually working on every start cycle. So that's why a 3-wire start kit is the preferred type. The 3-wire uses a potential relay, which is an actual physical relay. It's not affected by temperature, and it will always work every time the compressor cycles, no matter how hot it gets. And it's not difficult to wire it in to the system. It's just a simple thing to do. In the video here, I installed one myself. I was lucky because when my system was installed, the installers were good enough to actually put a start kit in it. It was a 2-wire start kit, but at least it had one from day one, because I have a heat pump and it does have a TXV. But after a few years, I do my own maintenance on my air conditioner, and that was the first thing I did, was switch out the 2-wire for a 3-wire. And my air conditioner is 12 years old and it's never had anyone come and service it. It's never needed service. I'm the only person that's ever done any maintenance on it, which is strictly capacitor, electrical things, really. And that's so I'm definitely sold on start kits because my compressor sounds really good when it starts up and it has no problem starting up whatsoever. So here's a wiring diagram for the 3-wire start kit. The upper left circle represents the compressor, so you have the S is start windings, R is run windings, and the C is common. In the upper right, you'll see a circle that says dual run capacitor. The run capacitor is something that takes voltage and it changes the phase a little bit so that when it goes into the windings of the compressor, it's in the proper phase to produce the induction properly. That actually makes an electric motor run. The lower right circle, it says start capacitor. That's part of the start kit. That's a whole nother capacitor that's used only for about a second when the that relay puts that start capacitor in the circuit right when the compressor starts, and then takes it out in about a second because the compressor will have reached lock rotor amps by that time and it doesn't need it anymore. The potential relay you can see is in the middle towards the bottom, and that's an actual relay that's mounted in the cabinet as well as that start kit. And wiring it up is just, it's not a big deal, it's just a few wires. So that's what the start kit adds to what's already there. So there's the potential relay that I'm pointing at right there, and there's the start capacitor, and that's pretty much just those two things that come in the start kit. That's all you need, and they come pre-wired to, like, all those red wires that are connected to the start capacitor. Those will already be connected, and every wire that you need to have connected to the potential relay will already be connected when you get it. The only thing is there'll be wires coming off of those that have quick connect terminals on them, and all you have to do is connect them right up to the terminal on your system. There's no wire cutting or splicing or anything like that. It's really just a plug-in type of a thing. And so hopefully this video explained to you why you would want to have a hard start kit on your system. And so you might want to check to see if you have one already, and if you don't, maybe ask your HVAC guy if he could put one on for you. All right.